The Play is the Thing, with your host, Judy Sleed. Today's guest, Fabrienne Bottero, Ophelia in Round Table Theater Company's Hamlet. Now here's Judy Sleed and Fabrienne.
Hello once again for The Play is the Thing. Today I have a lovely young lady as a playmate. Her name is a very unusual name, Fabrienne. Did I say it right?
Yeah, Fabrienne.
Fabrienne, yes. And your mother gave you that name because?
Well, because it's sort of a funny thing. I guess when she was born, her mother wanted to name her after her father, but her father's name was Eugene, and Eugenia didn't sound very nice. So she's always so her name is Mary. But she likes the idea of like a girl being named after her father. And my father came from Rome, Italy, and his name is Fabrizio. So she was sort of trying to figure out a way to make like a feminine version of that name.
And how do you feel growing up with that name?
I didn't like it at all. When I was growing up, I did not like it at all. Because everybody else's name was like, you know, like Emily or Alyssa or
Mary
or Mary. Yeah.
So what does your mom call you? What do people call you in general?
Well, after a certain point, when I was growing up, people started calling me Bree.
Oh, Bree, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so most
nice.
of the people, I only started reusing my real name.
But now
very
you like
recently.
it.
Yeah, now I like it, you know.
Yeah, because it's very unusual and it's pretty. Yes. Attention getter.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing, you know. Sometimes people call me Fab, and that's sort of a funny thing too, which is weird because it's also my father's nickname because he's Fabrizio, so people call him Fab. And when I went to the acting conservatory, I started going by Fabrienne, and then everyone started calling me Fab. And at first, I was like, "That's not my name.
Yeah.
That's a fat old Italian man's name."
Yeah.
No, I'm just I'm kidding.
Oh, how funny. So you're an actress, and you're playing a very, in my opinion, a difficult role.
It's a difficult role for sure. For sure.
You went to audition and you were picked, so you must be very talented.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I mean.
Tell us about the play.
The play is Hamlet. So it's actually one of my favorite Shakespeare plays. I think the thing about Hamlet is, of all of the Shakespearean plays, I feel like Hamlet is the most timeless. And so I think Morgan Vaughn, who is directing the show, had a really spot-on idea about the setting of it because she's making it sort of timeless. And the thing is what all of the characters are going through, if you take out the context of like royalty, is all very relatable, I feel like, you know, with Hamlet loses his father, and really it's a play of him sort of like coping with that, and with like the idea of all of these things he was raised believing to be true weren't true, you know. And it's like sort of this coming of age where, like, I guess when you grow up, you think that like your parents are these perfect people, and you sort of start to see
that they're not so great.
They're not perfect, but nobody's perfect. But it's sort of like at that point in time, everything seems so much larger, and it's sort of someone like you see, you know, him going through those questions.
And you play the role of?
I play the role of Ophelia,
who is
Hamlet's love interest.
And how long did it take you to learn the part?
Well, it's interesting because I guess I've been very attached to the part for a while. But there was, you know, there's learning the part as learning a character, which is sort of like maybe a little more like psychological, I guess. So I've been thinking about her in those terms for a while, and then, you know, spent the summer memorizing. And so it's weird because now actually doing the part and like enacting it and being, you know, opposite the other actors, it's sort of like a new discovery. It's like finding her again. So it's weird. I'm not sure how long how long it took. I guess it took a long time, you know, to find the different layers because people are so layered. So characters are too, you know.
Yeah, and do you sometimes feel that you are that character, Ophelia?
Yeah, I guess I do. Actually, this happened recently. One of my friends sort of made fun of me because she's sort of a younger, more innocent character. And I usually wear black every single day. I've always just like worn black every day. And I came back home and I was in like a pink sweater, pink pants, this pink jacket. and I didn't realize I had done this, but I like slowly started like dressing in all pink. And my friend was like, wow, Fabrienne, like you're really going method. So yeah, I feel like she's sneaking in.
Where are you from?
I am from a little like woodsy town in Connecticut called Reading.
Reading, Connecticut. Yeah, that Reading is like, you know, you think about it, it's Connecticut. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's
Reading, Connecticut. So, and you live there?
I've been living in the city for like three years now.
In the city, you mean New York City?
In New York City.
So you live in New York City right now, and you slept here to the Hamptons?
No, I have a family in the Hamptons that I'd been staying with.
Oh, so while you're doing this. So how did you hear about this play?
I actually just saw it on Backstage. I was looking through Backstage and I saw Hamlet.
Oh,
and
the
I was like,
magazine
oh my
Backstage,
gosh.
yes.
Yeah, but they have an online version now.
So you applied, you came out here to...
Yeah, I was just like, I'm going to do that.
And you got hired on the spot?
No, not on the spot. No.
What did you have to do to audition?
You come and I presented a monologue from the play, sang a little bit, and yeah, had just discussions with Morgan about Hamlet and about my training and things like that. And then I had to come back for a callback when I read with Tristan, and then I was opening up, I work at this pizza place. It's like a brick oven pizza place because, you know, Italian roots.
Where?
In the West Village.
Oh, in the West Village. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was like setting up the chairs and everything, and I just got a phone call, and she'd left a voicemail where she was like, "Hi, Fabrienne, really like it if you would play this role," and I was like, ah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was kind of a nice moment for some reason. It was like the start of the day.
And I met you actually at a party, and you were
The
there
wine
with...
tasting.
Yeah, you were there with your mom.
Yes.
And she's very excited about you
very
playing
excited.
this. When you say you live in New York, do you live there with your parents or?
No, I live there with, I've lived in different places with different people, but I was living with one of my really good friends.
Where about in the city?
Well,
the Village?
It was actually kind of like the West, like Chelsea.
Yes. So you'll find it's very different from Reading, Connecticut.
It's very different.
And the
It's very
Hamptons.
different from Reading, Connecticut. Definitely.
Yeah.
There aren't woods.
So, but
Yeah,
now
there
you
are
are
people.
here through the run of this play. And the play is going to open this Friday, you said, like it's tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
at Guildhall.
At Guildhall of East Hampton.
And how long of a run is this?
It's going to go until the 23rd, so every weekend until the 23rd of November of this month.
You mean just three
Yeah.
weekends, the
3
whole
weekends.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do after that?
Well, I'm actually going back to school. Just because I love acting, but I also really like to learn.
You're
So
going to special school for acting or?
No, I've gone to a school for acting, and now I'm going to go to a school for psychology.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you're just going to take extra courses, extra credit?
Yeah, just extra courses because I feel like I love acting and it fills me a lot, but what also helps, I feel like, with my acting is sort of being more, I guess, well-rounded in learning other things as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you want to do something that you like, but at the same time you want to earn some money. So you want to
That's what I mean.
a combination of things. Yes. So did you? I'm just sort of looking at you. You're such a beautiful young lady. I don't know how old you are. Have you finished college? Did you go to college or just school?
I went to a liberal arts college for a year in Chicago, actually, and then felt like I wanted a more serious training for acting. So I came back to New York and studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, which is a 2-year intensive conservatory program. And so I just finished that in May.
So have you done any plays before this? Have you been in plays? Let's put it that way.
Not really outside of school, no, actually.
When in school you did plays.
But in school I did a lot of plays, yeah.
Well, can you mention a couple that you really liked?
Yeah, actually I did this one that was called All Through the Night. By, I have such a hard time pronouncing her last name, but it's Shirley Luaro. But that's actually a play about, it takes place in before World War II, well, throughout World War II, actually. It jumps throughout time. And the characters, what I think is really interesting about this play is the characters are like German citizens. Mm-hmm. And it's actually, it shows, and it starts out where our characters are young and going through school, and when they start to put in like the Nazi youth, when they start incorporating that in school and sort of reading that and being like, there's something off about this, which is what ends up happening with my character is she ends up getting kicked out of school because she doesn't understand or doesn't agree with what they're saying, and she ends up becoming a nurse, and she has a child, and the child has a club foot, and so they take the child away from her, saying that they're raising him, that he has to be put into sort of like a special needs program where they end up it's a really sad play.
Yeah, it is. So you like serious and sad plays? Is that what you?
Well, I feel like they're things that we should never forget about.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I feel like the most important thing to me about acting is telling stories that we should never forget about.
Oh, isn't that unusual for a pretty young lady? So acting has been your hobby, but you would really like to make it your career.
Yes, I would really like to make it my career.
Yeah, well, that's okay. There's a lot of different avenues.
Yeah, it's true.
That's available, and you just have to persevere. Because my experience, nobody's going to come after you. Because a lot of people have this.
The same dream.
Yeah.
It's true. But I feel like, I don't know, what I've realized watching people around me and just through my own experiences is as long as you work hard, something will come. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's not what you want to come, or maybe it'll be something different, but as long as you work hard, you'll make things happen, you know?
Actually, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So what else do you like to do besides acting?
Well, I like to write. I write a lot as well.
You do? What do you write?
I write a lot of things, but mostly I write poetry.
Poetry?
I write poetry.
Did you ever write a play?
I haven't written a play. I've written short stories. I haven't really written a play or... Yeah, I guess plays are very interesting because I think the thing about plays is they have to... You can read them. You can absolutely read them, and they're moving, but they also require actors. You know what I mean? Like you have to bring plays to life, whereas books and poetry are just sort of moments in
Well,
time.
it's different writing. So how many have you written a lot of poetry?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
how many. Yeah,
Since when did you start writing?
Since I was really little, actually. I don't actually know when I started. I kind of always have, and it sort of started to become a bigger part of, it started to become a bigger hobby when I was in high school. And I had an English teacher who, one day, she was talking about poetry, and we were reading The Great Gatsby. She was talking about metaphors, because there's this wonderful line in The Great Gatsby where he says, you know, he looks up at the sky and realizes what a grotesque thing a rose is. And yeah, it's a really powerful line.
It's
But
funny, I just saw the movie in different versions, and I never picked up that line.
you know, because the funny thing is, it's not in the movies. Because it's, you know, it's a part of the book. It's a thought that Gatsby has before he dies.
Oh.
Yeah, but so she was talking about, you know, how words or poetry is like this, a moment in time. And I remember just being like really taken aback, like, wow, I want to make moments in time.
So would you, you know, recite one of your poems?
Yes, okay. I have to think about one. Okay, there is one that I wrote sort of recently, but it might have like one word with an S-H-I-T.
Oh.
Should I not say that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Love, you stilted shit. You caught my throat again betwixt your twisted thorns. How roughly do your tangled vines hold stiff my breath, knotted my breast, and still I look upon you like an angel, smiling in this ever-spinning brothel. Illuminating filth, making jives and cries seem as light and honest as a child's smile. I must plead, give rest my breast and do not rise, for I do injustice to my mind by craving mirthful lies, just to spend a morning in view of your brown eyes.
It's very, very nice.
Thank you.
It is really very dramatic, and and you're using such, you know, different words and thoughts. It's very deep. It tells a lot about you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have you ever put all these poems together and make a book of it?
I haven't yet. I've thought about it.
I have a couple of friends who've done that. You know, they have little pamphlet type of books, and all the poems that are. I bet you could even sell them on the internet.
Yeah, maybe that'll be where I make money.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to do something along those lines. I definitely do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's another thing about Shakespeare, actually, with Hamlet is, like, one of the things I love with, it's like the way that you can use words. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there are so many words in the English language
Yeah.
that it's like, how can you not, you know, play with them? And Shakespeare does that in such a wonderful way, where it's like he can still convey such human emotions, but in this language that's almost more human because it's heightened. Do you know?
So you actually understand everything he says.
I do, yes, I understand. I mean, it takes a while. You have to sort of read through and look up certain words because they meant different things back then. But yeah, my mother read Shakespeare to me when I was growing up. When I was very
While
little,
you were
so.
still in her belly.
Maybe, probably while I was still in her belly.
Yeah. Yes. And do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have 3 older brothers.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
So
it
you were
was.
the baby in the family.
I was the baby.
And how much older are they?
Well, it's complicated. I have one brother who's 24,
Yeah.
so he's not much older than me, and we have the same mother. But my two older brothers are sort of like in their 40s, and they were born. They have a different mother from when my father was younger.
Oh. So, but are they living with you, or did you grow up living all together with them?
My oldest brother lived with us when I was very little for a while, when he was like in his 20s, and I never really lived with my other brother, but I grew up with Bennett is the one closest in age to me, and I grew up with him, and he's always been really into theater and things like that too.
He's also in the theater?
So he's in Chicago though.
Oh.
So I haven't lived with him for a while, but yeah, he actually has a theater company in Chicago called, with other people, it's called Otherworld Theater Company, and they do all of these science fiction plays. Yeah,
He's not into Shakespeare.
No, Bennett's not into Shakespeare. No, Bennett's very into
Science fiction. And what about the other brothers? What are they into?
They're into, well, actually, one of my brothers, he does write, but he does real estate, and then another one of my brothers is in. We're all sort of in a weird way connected to the food industry because my father is a chef.
That was my next question. Oh, so.
Yeah, but they live in the city in New York. My two oldest brothers, they have their whole lives.
Your father's still working in the city?
He works all around, actually. He's the executive chef for this company called Cuisinart and Waring, and so they sell commercial or retail like cooking products, and so he travels all around the world and demonstrates using these, like how to use these products and making food with the products.
Yeah, so
So in a weird way, like that's sort of showbiz as well.
yeah. And your mom?
My mom, she's done a lot of things her whole life. I used to make fun of her because I said she was like Barbie, she's had so many jobs. But she was an actress, actually. First she was a nurse, and then she grew up in Wisconsin, actually, in a really small town in Wisconsin.
So she did some acting too?
Yeah, she did acting.
So the whole family is like that, so that's where you...
Yeah, it's sort of where I got it from.
Yeah.
She stopped she only did theater because it was what she really liked to do. And then she got pregnant with my brother and decided that she wanted to be there for me and I, 100%.
Yeah. So you have do you have an agent?
I don't have an agent.
No.
No.
So are you actually looking for work yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I found this myself. I've sent out, headshots and resumes and things, and invited agents to the show, and hopefully we'll see how that goes. But yeah, mostly I've just been looking for things myself.
Very interesting. So, are you looking for work like on TV or movies also, if anything would come up, or your first love is the theater, obviously?
I'm open to all. I'm open to all forms. Obviously, it would all be amazing. But I have a special connection to the theater, where I felt like I just felt like the first thing I do, I wanted it to be on stage. I wanted it to be the theater. But I love film and television. It's still storytelling.
Well, actually, the work in the theater, I think, is a very good start, because you have to really enunciate.
Yeah, it'll be good for my voice.
Yeah, so you could hear. And that's a good training for the other medias.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a totally different way of acting.
Yes. And from what I see of people who are successful, they started in theater, all those actors.
Yeah, that is, it is sometimes the case.
Yes. So you're going to be the star in the family.
Well, everyone in my family is a star in their own way.
Yes. So during this run, which is 3 weeks, it's only the weekends.
It's only the
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have one performance Friday night. What time does it start?
7.
And how long is it?
It's, well, we don't
3
know how long
hours?
it is yet. We're still sort of figuring out how long it is, but it should hopefully be like 2.5.
So Friday at 7 and Saturday you have 2. You have a matinee and
And then we have a
evening,
matinee on Sunday.
and Sunday. Okay, so that should keep you busy. Well, I want to thank you for coming and talking to me.
Thank you for having me.
And you are a very lovely, lovely person.
Oh, you're a very lovely person
Talented.
too.
And I want to thank Lupita for doing my hair.
Your hair looks wonderful.
And I want to thank all my underwriters. And I just don't want to name all of them. But without them, I couldn't do the show. And I want to thank Joe and Lena and my son, the boy, Jeff, for helping out. And you could watch me on YouTube. But this show is not going to go on YouTube until I put it on there. But I have like over 100 of my shows uploaded.
Very cool.
So, and just be ready to sign your name autograph. Your hand is going to get so tired. You're going to get so many calls when they're going to watch this show. You're going to become very famous.
It's a great show. Everybody's doing a really good job, working very hard.
Yes.